And good evening and welcome to the show. But before we begin and have a quick look that we're live, yes we are, let's have a couple of intros.
My name is Emily Harrison, founder and director of the Akashic Academy and mentor to other lightworkers in the realm of the Akashic Record. I got to give a shout out today to Sifu Boggy, my personal Sifu. I want to invite you to open your mind to the way, the conscious way, the way of conscious mindfulness. Peace.
Good evening and welcome to the Way of Conscious Mindfulness Network, but more importantly, welcome to discussions of Light Code with the wonderful, the awesome, the amazing, the ever so lovely and beautiful Denise Chadwick, and also, surprise, surprise, we also have the ever so awesome, the ever so amazing, the wonderful Doc himself, Dr. Delaney, and then, yeah, there's me. And as I actually said off air, we've actually got, these two guys have actually also got their own networks now, their own shows. So you got in for a special treat tonight. You've got the Dragon Boys, me and Doc in the house, and the wonderful Denise doing the light language, light code, but you've also got three heads of networks. So there you go. Or three interviewers of three different shows. And there's Doc shaking his head at me saying, oh, shut up, Boggy. So anyway, so good evening, guys. How are you doing? Denise first, ladies first. Good evening, Denise. How are you?
I'm good. And I saw you hesitated to call me Dragon Lady. But but yeah, I think we're all pretty connected to the dragons.
Yes,
but thank you. And you're both beautiful.
Thank you. Well, yeah, thank you. Well, I'm not sure about Doc, but yeah, thank you. No, he's lovely. I love Doc, and I could eat a whole one. Indeed. But okay, so Doc, how are you, sir?
Sifu, thank you for your kind words, Denise. And you're lovely too, and nice to see you. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm plodding along. Yeah, ups and downs, surfing these weird tidal waves of love and cleansing and stuff, and not quite sure from one moment to the next what's going on. Just sort of feeling my way through, really, keeping my heart open and going with the flow. Other than that, just an ordinary day.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I know that. I think the energies are still very. I'm still very much feeling the waves. Well, I say that. I think that it's calming down a little bit for me, and I sometimes seem to be a little bit ahead of everybody else. But it's there's definitely interesting. I'm still waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been doing it for like a year and a half now, but it's still. And then there's some days it's like, I think it was last week I slept, like the days off I slept about 18 hours or 14 hours, just slept. And like I think Robin, the other Robin McClendon, and Krista Higginbotham, and actually Eva, I think they were worried that I'd disappeared off the face of the earth or something, because you know I just like had totally disappeared. But it's just the way the energy seemed to be at the moment. They knock me out one minute and or overflowing the next. But yeah, so okay, guys. So I think you know we'll sort of get into it. So shall we pass it over to you, Denise?
Sure. So just to mention, the energies today for me have been really strong. Like they're so up and down. You know, there was a couple of days ago, you're like, yay, done that wave, we've ridden that one, and then boom, you're on another one. And for me today, the energies are so strong. Like it's quite hard to keep my eyes open. It's a really comfortable place to be with my eyes closed. And it's been like that all day for me. And I think there's just heaps of energy coming through. I feel quite spacey, but not in a not grounded way. I just feel spacey with the amount of energy coming through at the minute, which might have something to do with the show as well. I feel that the codes that are going to come through today are going to be really strong. We've got 3 people here very connected to dragon energy and just pretty connected to all the energies, really. So I'm just feeling to okay, so just feeling to do a little visualization just to bring us all together, really, connecting all of our hearts and connecting our hearts to the hearts of all the people watching now and on the replay and on YouTube. And let's just breathe some golden light into our hearts and breathing some love into our hearts and breathing some gratitude into our hearts and feeling this beautiful connection between the 3 of us here. I really feel this triad energy, this kind of triangle energy, this tetrahedron energy. And just in my vision, I'm getting some strong geometries as well. And I'm probably speaking for all of us when I know for myself, when the light language comes through, it really does come through as sacred geometry. We're upgrading our DNA with this, but we're also activating our new geometries. So as we continue to breathe deeply, I'm feeling that already there is some light language to share. Aron tokohia baradi hiampeta, ele hiamparala kumpa parat akast, hele rotokumpa paradan namakalaya, erato stored ante pardet kiato oitoista, hele rotokum tata tata, ele hiampala kanto koko kulle ertokum, hele karto on kokohista, kadalana makiti titiara, elle kitito toi lana namaka a, hielero unto pa anta a, hele kiampala kanako ust, karato onto totoya anabaka anto ust. Hele hiamana kokokuyast arat antiki iara. Onamakulle parato untart okokusta. Hele kiam maka anstokoi, ele kiato oya anaka okokoi, hele kiam mana a, hele kana kia baratono kola kia roton, hea kan unsta arat okomala antokoya, yanai. Anamekille baratukunaka, Astulla baka ante e. Kelero tunto takara bataka, Stutotayana uitatatataya. Herotut uinama are, Hola castera enti. Elihiam palakia portokum, tatatatoya. Erot onto toto champart a, et utoi, artokunna makella ketupust. Anamekille kiatutun. Ana makilla kuttu tutuja tatataya tutuja tatata. Ana makilla na ya. Hey. Harton takasta. Ana makurut onta a arto on. Amma killa a kust ort a ta. Emma killa kiporut onna kusturet an. Ja leerot onto tuja parataan. Ke ort ost ortaan, tietyt ortaan. Jalla ort o humpa a. Kon me ki hartostui, apart o kutototoja ta.
Ayo toki apasani ya coaches mahat. Asani ya matoke de se hong de she atok xiang tu fu ya zi mo dao she. Sen dao fu ni atak dong xi atak to sa ma khu de ma ha da. Sara anu tek ni ha za jiro ana shi ena pas na ha da khu de ras ma ha de ji. Ye ku sama ka de ena hor hasab adro khan ta ma ho drem he de. Shi an was echt ne et foot ma ha se etu. Makabasta, molakasta buluka, halton mo, yalo nokeba, saknot, hats hik hot naleto bodja, lama, kula möse, yalo mokota, sanoko drabla, yalo denabwa, kalasna zatya bokolo zandeba, ulema tatskotnovod, hal neetes, hal osanayvorat, Nikostunia Maria, Sabbath Ednason, Yokulama Odaba, Hale no Kudathane, what Adson Oka, voilà, Melakazan, le mode, oh, la mola, yeah, Tama, oh, yonder Tokunama, Yato, Merto, Santa, you, Mola, Holaneto, you, Hola.
我下我的计划，你还不有心多，你都还我心不大，如无气，心无一无气，大不稀罕，我还多啥多气不， hin son hin o hin zo wu ja wu no zi yi wo yi da wu zi wu ja wu ni wu zi na bu ji ga wu ja zi wa xi wo zi o yi wu da wu zi.
Ki nostarat ota a, ki ord und a. Ert ihiam maka a ustuja. Ele dort an to kokol ert eka. Ja me ad uid a ud ord I ad ud uja. No uid ert aka no ko ust. Hol le ad ai ad o a. Ki ard o duit a. Kiar I hint uist ert ikia adui natatatui itia. Ert on namakara da. Uniard ui iard o und a. Hiard o kokokoit ia. Ea no uiata on zukuist iat. Hoin diard o da. Hoin nia at. Hoin nita ort ai ui. Ela ort unia a uint a. Ien ui ui eret a. Nimare de kia storit an toi aru. Hui diana naya duia darut ukuist era. Hiena uiat arut ui ierd a. Hole arut ui iet at ui at a. Kiorot turt a. Ja leerot hoia tui titia. Elke toerta kaka ast ui da a. Iet art net a. Art toko oort a. Ita ast uit a. Je leert uit oort a. Atatatoi. Kolle hart stara
哎呀，做戏的个被教授剧目啊，那大戏和东西说上讲法文，你都不生气，这到时你都过着。都他想都发生，那个得了没拿去过，三大事对出生没有多少，我年写说大师傅怎么，说当前小学么，个从他飞我才拿这个都现在，那我现在很多人被拿着，我给他想的我得了那还了不是的。后来从接不了很少了，给他把身的了把那了不是，虽然你了的把身的的可能我是按اسود哈我可能还是按照我们想的的，想的还了he as all and at the back ja seafood this is for you 是用大火是用东非不本是干的，山东就是这种大火加上你都挂，虽然也不到现在要写的了嘛，如大新我到去发发是从大些呢，我他你就把身大，西木都火大山的是山东大些，大son大个呢吧。
我是无极，我是南，我是山，我和西，我是无山来苏是那山，啊，我是大，我是极，我是大多呀，我西呀多，那我在西，我是我在，我是大我，这我在我是大。那我是什么时代？在度什么时？我是大海，我是我海，我的爱我的我，那我的我，我的我。
I say.
was quite a start, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Well, there you go.
Can I just share something that that I'm not sure if it's Ria or Rhea Magdalena has put 2 comments. Did anyone see that in Joe's doorway a few minutes ago? It was like smoke. It happened just before the 15-minute mark.
Well, if you remember a time before, Denise, when we were doing this, one of my windows imploded. You know, there was a hell of a bang, and there was just glass everywhere. You know, so there's lots of strange things going on. But that energy, that dragon type speak energy, that really deep one, dropped again tonight into a deeper one. And I could feel a different part of my throat coming into this, almost like where my heart and my throat connect. It was like a ring opened as well, you know. And the other voice, which was for Sifu, is from the Masters, and it's to congratulate him. We've had that one before, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I just, you know, because this is we're talking about light language and what does it mean and all that. I've got no idea what it means at a logical level, but I do feel all sorts of energetic things happening within my body and at different parts of my body as well. You know, I don't try and work it out anymore. This has been happening to me for a long time. And strangely enough, when I was on the drink, it used to come out and free flow, you know, and I used to wake up quite often in the psychiatric department, you know, with all sorts of diagnoses and things. But I realized today it's just expressing itself, you know, from deeper and deeper levels. You know, that's my feeling on it. I don't fully understand it. It's called glossolalia or glossalia, and it's been something that's well known in ancient traditions for a long time. That spirit will talk through us, not particularly in a language, but it's the tones that activate the remembrance and the memories of previous incarnations and groupings and stuff like that as well. And I think that we're all being called. I didn't know I was going to say this, but I'll keep going till it comes out. I think that we're all being called and attracted to one another from past workings, so that we can reconnect in order to complete the job that we started off with in the first place. You know, so that's how I feel things are going at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've said it on this show, but you know, like my teachers would say about the babble of babies. You know, that was light language, and I've done where you know I've actually had certain friends that you just like, and it will just come out, and you know it's. Most of the time it doesn't mean anything of sorts, or you know but like words, you'll find that words mean different things in different places, so they could have a meaning, but like you say, it's the energy of them. I will say that the one that when you start talking that certain tone, it does, and you've never heard him, it does sound like my Sifu Po. It does sound like what Poe would say. It has definitely his tonage. And there's the thing like when I get really low, or I listen back, and it's funny that when I listen back to the ones, I've actually got to see if I can get a better mic, because I'm feeling it inside my chest. I'm feeling, you know, on certain tones, I can feel it vibrating in my chest. When I actually hear it on the thing, it's like it's not picking that up. It's not actually picking up a lot of what's actually. It's a bit like I suppose it's a bit like, you know, like when you say, you know, you talk, you hear a recording, you say, well, that's not me. That doesn't sound like how I sound. There's a different loads, but that, like when I start coughing, it's that. The frequency, I'm struggling to get to that frequency. So it's like saying, no, you've got to get, you know, it allows me to stop, because it's saying, oh, you know, you need to strengthen your voice. But it's that the coughing is actually indicating to me that I need to expand more, I need to build up more, because I can't quite get yet that energy. That's why it's making me cough. But there's an interesting thing in sacred sounds where one sound you could do it 100 times and you'll be fine, and then another time it'll make you cough, or you'll start, you know, you won't be able to do it because it's showing a blockage in your energy. So that was the other thing about in Shen Gong, the spirit and Shunchi Shen and the light code, was that this clears us. You know, it's not just, it's for everybody. but it clears us as well. It's actually helping us, and that's the whole point.
And to me as well, it's really linked to the frequencies that are coming in at the moment. And I don't always have a name for those. I can't always, you know, kind of speak to those frequencies and describe them. But it's like we're building a framework. That's the way I've always looked at it. It's like we're building this energetic framework. You know, call them New Earth templates or whatever. But it's kind of bringing the energy in that is going to create the physical, because the energy comes first before the physical. So it's like we are creating these frameworks, and it's going so deep into, you know, it's going all the way to the heart of Gaia as well. And the one that kind of, you know, I felt like I was on Japanese TV. It just felt like really strong Japanese. And that comes through me as well. And often when they have very new frequencies coming in, I have to kind of, and this is when I'm working with the Earth Grid as well, it feels really warrior, and it feels like I have to kind of like, I have to really, because, you know, you see I do a lot of work with my hands when I'm bringing these frequencies in as well. And those ones I have to really, sometimes I have to put them into myself quite forcefully, like just tap them into my body. And other times it's really bringing them in deep into the earth. And I totally hear you, Joe, on your voice expanding. It's really, really working on our larynx, on our voice box. And I can tell I can go deeper than I used to be. But the high one that came through today, there's an ease now with me reaching that one, and I was a bit blocked there. I had to force it up to there. And now in my singing as well, it's kind of that step from your like bottom voice box to your top one. That step is much more, it's not really a step, it's a glide up there now. Yeah, so I totally hear that. And I was recording some sounds as well yesterday. A friend has a mini studio, and we were talking about your note, your heart note. And so he was going through the keyboard and I was singing, and he was saying to me, okay, where's that resonating in your body? Where can you feel that? So we started quite low and just worked our way up. Some I could feel in my throat and not lower. But the note that you feel in your heart is your note. It's your resonant note, he was saying. And for me, that coincided with being F, which is interesting because that's what we hear is our heart chakra note. But to me, it actually was on F. And I found out yesterday that I've got like a 2.4 octave. I've got like a 2.5 octave range. And I don't really do those really, really low notes very often, but I can get them more, and I can feel that it's stronger. And the one that's one below, I can get it, but my voice is really raspy when I'm like, I can't get it fully. It's really, really raspy when it's there. And the high ones I can maybe get if I'm not being watched. But there's some intimidation as well of getting those higher notes, which hopefully is kind of going a little bit now as well.
Well, I think it's the whole thing with like shows like this, you know, that allowing yourself to flow. And I was very much until actually the Doc and Shanine, the wonderful Shanine Mooland, she pulled me out the closet that I was hiding in for the last 30 years, and yeah, you know, so it was, you know, that was like last year, and so this year, the rat, I've come forward and, you know, claiming my spot and all of that. But yeah, it's that whole idea of, you know, allowing it to expand. And I think what I want to sort of say is I think it's that everyone, it's not something special. Everyone has it in them. Everybody has that capability. It's just that because like I've done years of spontaneous qigong, which is just like freestyle movement. Is, you know, the whole point of Tai Chi and qigong is you learn the forms to eventually have no form, to just go with the flow, and that's the whole point. And my, you know, the Taoism I was taught is that your life was meant to be, you're meant to do that in your whole freaking life. We get so, you know, oh, you know, you go to work at this time and you do this, you do that, and Monday you do this, and Tuesday you eat this, and Wednesday you eat kippers, and Thursday you have a pork pie or well, actually, no. For Doc now, it'd be a pecan pie or a pumpkin pie or whatever pie. And we're so set in our ways that we actually forget that this is what we're meant to. You're meant to be, allow yourself to be spontaneous. You're meant to allow yourself to just be. And we live in a society that restricts that.
I think also from a neuroscience point of view, and Denise has mentioned this, the pharyngeal and the laryngeal nerves, you know, they can either constrict you, right, because of suppression and repression over years and years of enslavement. And I think what's happening now is people are literally finding their own voices, and it's the voices from eons that are starting to come up now. It's almost like that thing out of Indiana Jones where that thing breaks out of the Ark of the Covenant, and you know, and all that sort of thing. And that, obviously I'm talking about it now, I'm getting a big thing up the spine. So this is about helping people not to be afraid to really express basically from their root, you know, because I keep seeing like a flute, you know, the throat being like a flute really, with different sort of chakra resonances on it and all those sort of different things, you know. And I don't think you have to work it out. I think you just have to sort of get over yourself a little bit and start working on it, you know. And I also found as well that different rhythms like boom, 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 boom. That comes through very, very strongly with any drum beat with me, you know. And I pick up that Native American Indian thing, you know. And you know, they say, don't they? Oh, everybody's got a Native American Indian guide, you know. But I've been told many times that I have two Native American Indians with me. One's a young brave who's fit as a fiddle and stuff like that, you know, and one's the chief, you know. And of course it has to be the chief, doesn't it, you know, and all that sort of thing. But I feel that, and I feel their energies, because when the chief's with me I feel absolutely knackered but wise, and when the other one's with me, the young one, I feel absolutely full of energy but thick, you know what I mean. So all these sort of different things come through. But I think somebody was saying here, Krista was saying, I think it was, that she gets like bird language in, and I get that myself. Normally when I'm driving to work in the car, I'll just practice this in the car, and I get a really, really high pitched one that comes up, and it sort of breaks out of the crown of my head, you know. So I think different tones are directed to, like you said, Denise, different tones are directed to different areas of the body. And sometimes, like an ape, I have to beat my chest, you know, to make space. It's almost like emotional freedom technique, where you're tapping to let go of any bubbles of obstruction. So I'm on one tonight, I can feel it, you know. But I did a talk yesterday, and what's that?
It's it's a candle version, but that's a shaman. It's American Indian shaman. So,
right.
And then probably I should have bought the white version. And then I've got a brave, candle brave, and these were all given to me like years ago. There was a couple of American Indians I actually taught some qigongs to, and got them as like a trade. So. Yeah, I just wanted to share them. So sorry, Doc, carry on.
No, it's all right, mate. I think I keep getting pushed now by spirit, if you like, to promote this chromatooptogenetics. And what that is basically is chromato, right? It basically refers to color, and therefore the different frequencies of color. But the chromatic scale is a 12-tone scale. On musical instruments, so it's 12, and so what happens to me is I always get the 12, and so it's related to me that it's the use of sound and light at various frequencies to deobstruct, right, the ego, and so that the soul can actually start to infiltrate the human body and start to express itself. So sound's so important, really. There's phonons, photons, protons. There's all these things that are impacting upon us now at a very deep level from the cosmos. And basically, I think we've just got to let go, express ourselves, and allow anything that comes through us, and to try and sort of not be too bothered about what other people think, really. you know, and I don't have much problem with that these days, to be honest with you.
And it is like a massive burst, isn't even a strong enough word, but it's like those cosmic energies are just going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more we bring them through, the more it activates us, and the more, because I feel the different energies coming through, there often are multidimensional aspects as well that are kind of speaking through us. And to me, it feels like there are many threads of energy coming through at the same time, although one might be more at the forefront than others, but it's not just one stream of energy that's coming through, it's multitudes. And for me as well, it's like a different stream that comes through my hands too. And what you were saying before about the rhythm, sometimes when I'm out in nature on my own, it comes through in song, but it comes through in like such a rhythmical, and I start dancing to it as well, and it feels really, really tribal. And you've got to like stamp your feet, you've got to like really stamp those energies in as well. So yeah, I really hear you on that one. And I just want to speak to a comment that Shanine wrote earlier as well about being in the back room within your body, looking. And I love the wording of that. That's exactly what it feels to me. I'm totally still here. And I'd love, Shanine, to speak to you sometime about how this compares to trance channeling. Because I'm totally here in observance of what's going on. And I'm always like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, I've not done that before. Or, oh, that sounds different, or whatever. You're completely able to observe what's going on, while at the same time, you know, bringing these frequencies through. And it's kind of like you're at the front and the back at the same time.
Yeah, I find that, like I say, you know, with the thing of certain tones, is that if I'm too much in the forebrain, or I can, like say, I start feeling, oh, I'm going to cough, and then as soon as I start relaxing, it's you know, it takes, you know, not takes over, but you know, I'm getting in the way. It's a bit like typical Boggy getting in the bloody way, and it's like, move out the freaking way, Boggy, and let us get on with it. And it's like every time I relax more, and that was the, you know, the biggest thing is like it's this frequency that's coming through. And but it's a bit like with the spontaneous qigong, is that the whole point of doing your neigong, your Taoist yoga, your stretching, and you're doing your qigong, was that it gives you the ability to move like you need to move and do those things. And it's so it is that, you know, is that sort of that training, or, you know, just allowing yourself to give yourself that training. That's why traditionally, like with the Dragon Dog Shaman in China, they would do set chants, so Nam Myoho Ho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Ho, which is the Buddhist, but then you'd have other ones. And I tell you, a lot of the time, for me, or if I sit there, I actually just get woo, 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 and I just feel like, you know, that, you know, like building up, which is very similar to the very similar to like the wasa, they say a lot, or also warum, which is supposed to be the ancient om. So that's like wow. Yeah, I need training more. So yeah, I can see I'm still not quite relaxed enough. So, but yeah, it's just, and with anybody is like, if you get the opportunity, you know, if nobody's about, you know, allow yourself to just to make noises, allow yourself to do whatever it is, you know, and not trying to do something, just play with it, because you know, the fear mongers, or the old, a lot of the religions, a lot of the fear mongers will say, oh, this is possession, this is, oh, you know, and it's we got to get away from this, because it's, you know, it's, you know, it's this thing of, so, you know, like kids do it. You kids spontaneously make noises and spontaneously move, and then we would tell them off, you know, stop fidgeting, stop, you know, stop babbling, stop, you know, stop making silly noises, and you cut that off. But it's the frequencies going through, just like the wind rust. You don't tell a tree off for it rustling, for for making. Oh, you don't tell the wind off for making funny noises. Well, you can try. It won't work, but you can try. But it's the whole point of that is the energies coming through, and we just got to learn to allow them. But it's like not just us. You guys out there. You've got to let this out. You've got to. It's all of us. It affects all of us, and all of us have the opportunity to open up to these energies, and even if it's just you're doing it for yourself in your own private room, but you doing it spontaneous, allowing yourself to be spontaneous, whether it's movement or sound or artwork, painting, drawing, doodles. Again, doodle, why would you fucking call them doodles? They're bloody, it's your expression, you're expressing, for goodness sake. Oh, shut up, Doc. But it's what's wrong with we've got to get rid of this. Oh, it's this or it's that. It's Tao is all about. It is what it is. It's just the flow, man. Just go with the flow. Whether it's yin yang, whatever, it doesn't matter. Us as beings, we try to describe everything. We try to stick everything in boxes, and that's a freaking problem. Is that we, rather than just allowing it to express itself and play, it's what does that mean? What does this do? What does that do? What's this say? What's that? Oh, shut up! Just let it flow, man. Just go with it. It is what it is, and it means what it means. And what it means for me may be different to what it means for you. And does that matter? No. So, enjoy it, be with it. But hey, what do I know?
Just to go back to that 12 thing, I keep getting the same thing, that 12 tones, 12 different frequencies, 12 channels, like a 12 channel music production type thing, but 12 vibrational essences that represent 12 potentials in each human being. So there are different frequency for each one. There's a different tone that comes out. There's a different potential. So this is, to me, this is what I get shown all the time, it's the 12 meridians connected to the 12 cranial nerves. And I got all this today, this what they call the neurohormonal axis. And I think, what are you trying to tell me now? And basically, it's the use of sound and light, because light is really encoded in sound and vice versa. And it's a bit like, sometimes I get what seems like white noise, but in actual fact do you remember when the internet first came in and we had those modems, right? And it would go, I didn't expect that. Okay, but that's what comes through. And God, that was quite powerful. I'll have to train in that one, but that's what comes through sometimes. And I used to get that a lot when I wasn't well, and it would come through because I was taking drink and all that sort of business. It was sort of almost opening the channels, but I wasn't emotionally ready to sort of, express it and stuff like that, So it looks like I'm going to have to practice that one. But what happens with that one is I get a sort of frantic. It's almost like pre-epileptic fit, that one, really, So I don't know what all that was about, but all I'm trying to say is I think that as the great shift in consciousness comes through, we have these different undulations of different frequencies that, depending on where you're up to in this 12 sphere model, it will impact upon various people at different times as well. So I don't see that up and down linear model anymore. I just see like this sort of global sphere that keeps turning around, and your light body or your soul or your guardian angel or whoever's looking after you, your team, they'll be able to direct which particular frequency needs working on a day at a time. There we are. Make of that what you will.
There was 33 people watching as you were speaking there, which I think is very, very relevant. And just to go back to the sound as well, when I'm still not totally sure what I'm doing when I'm doing all this, and this has been coming through for a long time. This has been coming through since I got to Byron in 2005. And I know that I'm weaving. The weaving word seems very appropriate. But it's also, and Todd Medina said this to me as well, it's almost like I'm playing a harp. It's almost like I'm plucking strings. it also reminds me of weaving a web, like a spider's web as well. But there's definitely something to that, that the energy all around us has sound, even though we can't hear it as sound, it is sound. And we can kind of change the notes, make harmonies, joining things together in sound as well as we do that. And the light language can be really useful if you've got that grrr inside you and you need to find a release for it. Then doing a light language activation can really help. You can really kind of release those distorted frequencies that are in our, or they feel distorted to us, they feel uncomfortable, and they can be linked with those, you know, what we might term as denser emotions as well. And I'm never sure if I'm holding those denser emotions because the light language activation needs to come through. And often we're holding the opposite vibrations. So we're holding, you know, if it's to do with unity, we'll be holding separation. We hold the opposite frequencies. So I'm never quite sure which way around it is, or if it's just that those are relieved from doing an activation, but I think it's the former rather than the latter.
Yeah, there's a thing in, so with the Dragon Dog Shaman, is that everything that exists in this universe is energy. Everything that exists in the universe is conscious energy. So like in quantum physics, they're actually saying that, you know, even atoms appear to have some form of consciousness. So, you know, it's funny how what the ancient knowledge says, you know, science is catching up. And so, because everything is energy, is with the Dragon Dogs, is that everything is a selection of either physical form, physical vitality, emotional form, so like, you know, like the vibrational frequency, or spiritual form, so the actual essence, the essence. So there's a look at there's something there's energetic about it, there's something vibratory about it, and there's something physical about it. So in humans, is that everything has a physical shape, everything has an emotional feeling, everything has a vision or sight. So what my Sifu said is, like, especially like people like I've always been, you know, a hands person anyway, is that you're shaping frequency, you're shaping tone. Yeah, and it's this thing of, like, in the ancient, when they all symbols were actually, my teachers taught, is that they draw, at the time they had to use the technology they had, so they draw, you know, 64 circles, but it's not circles, they're spheres. It's 60 to make the flower alive. It's 64 spheres. The Merkaba is 2 pyramids that spin in opposite directions. So and the Tai Chi symbol up the Tai Chi, a lot of people say yin yang, but Tai Chi, it actually moves and it then turns in on itself and goes the other way. And these actually have density, and but the whole point of the ancient knowledge and what became Men Ren, inside the door secret stuff, was that you were shown the picture, but you had to figure out, oh, actually it's got density, it's got width, it's got character. And so the move, so with how I was taught with the light language, is when people are doing this, they're shaping that frequency, they're adding to that frequency. You know, it's a little bit like, you know, the difference between, or we sort of said, you know, listening to a record of a song, or actually being in a studio where they're playing live band and they're singing. You feel that song, you actually feel everything that goes into that song, and there's a big difference between one and the other. And so I was taught that, and if you're seeing colors, or whether you're listening to light language, you'll get colors, or when you're doing it yourself and you're getting colors, that's all part of the frequency. It's all, there's so much more to what you're getting. And as I say, I'm gonna have to look and try to get camera, because when I'm doing certain sounds, I'm feeling it in my body. It's my body's vibrating and feeling. And I think I can't remember Doc, but I know I did with Shanine when I did it in live, and she's saying, Boggy, everything's around you's moving. It's like there's a vibration, you know, around you. And so, well, that's what I'm getting when doing certain tones, certain frequencies. That's what's coming from me, is that it's expressing more than, it's not just the sound, it's not just the movement, it's not just the sound, not just the color, it's all of the above and everything else.
And
I got a thing. Sorry, Denise, you carry on.
no, you go. You go.
I got 432 hertz. Okay, so important, you know, because as most of us know, we've been sort of kicked out of sync. I'm not a conspiratorial type of person, but for certain reasons, the whole music industry sort of moved and tuned itself to 440 hertz, you know, and it took us into what's called the patriarchal vibration, if you like, which moved our nervous system away from balance. So I think anything that can get us back now, especially playing music at 432 hertz. And I know that our mate Stella, you know, Stella Fairbairn, you know, some of the songs I played, one, it was to do with the south of France, so it resonated with what happens to me all the time, you know. And there's one about a shepherd's song from the south of France at 432 hertz, you know, and it really had a massive impact upon opening me up and clearing me out, you know. But what I've learned is that 432 hertz is the harmonics of the Schumann resonance as well, which is 8 hertz. And in Taoism, they've known that 8 hertz has been the Mother Earth's frequency for a long time. So the 432 can actually it's resonant with A, the note A. And so if we can play that 432 and doing some grounding techniques as well, what I feel is energetically it reconnects us and opens us at the roots, and it reconnects us with, I don't know, you know, I was going to say this, but it reconnects us with Gaia, right? And then we get the energy from Gaia coming up, so that the mother starts to work up our spine. If we can open the crown, then the father comes down and they meet in the heart, you know. And to me, that's all about resonant frequencies. And like Denise has also said, there are things called cordai tendini in the heart. They're literally heartstrings. And when you feel your heartstrings resonating, then that to me is when the gate opens and the soul comes through to start expressing itself, you know. And before the show tonight, before we started, I got really the combination of like a golden phoenix and an egg, and a golden egg being laid and stuff like that, you know, all to do with the heart. And I think more and more people are tuning into this all the time, you know. I mean, I always have a conflict in me. Was what will they think of me in my academic job if they see me doing this, you know? And I've got to the point that I don't care anymore, you know. I'm thinking to put up on my YouTube channel, all this is for entertainment purposes only, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's marvelous. I think it's absolutely marvelous.
Denise, you were going to say something?
Yeah, just wanted to kind of touch on the different frequencies of light as well, because this is something that I kind of know on one level, but not on another. So to me, a lot of the frequencies of light that I work with are crystalline frequencies, and often the visions I get are very crystalline. And this has gone on for more than 20 years. I'd get into that space and kind of see crystals. It was like I was moving through crystalline tunnels that were kind of moving like kaleidoscopes, and different geometries as well. So I don't fully understand like plasma light, crystalline light, you know, all the differences between them. But I know for me, I'm working a lot with the crystalline energies and creating geometries as well. And again, some of this stuff that I'm doing, I can see like the geometries that I'm creating, you know, there might be diamond shapes or very intricate like snowflake kind of shapes. And we touched a little on the 5 platonic solids before, and those to me, so let's see if I can get them. So you've got the cube, you've got the tetrahedron, the dodecahedron, the octahedron, and the icosahedron, and those are the 5 basic ones that everything else is kind of built upon. And it feels like we're moving into much more complex geometries. I know something that I've started working with, and it's not fully active yet, is activating our crystalline light body, but particularly the new geometries of that. Yeah, and I don't know from your science background, Joe, if you can kind of add to that.
I think it's Kabbalistic as well. I think the two spheres have gone back online. So we get back to the 12 thing, the dodecahedral thing.
Yeah.
But the Pythagorean 12 scale is coming back online as well, because Plato and Pythagoras work together, I think, at some level on this. And so I think we're moving up now and expanding more into more finer frequencies. And I get the word is for these frequencies, tendrils of tenderness. And I didn't know what I was talking about, but as you do, you get a word, and I think, and a tendril to me is a very, very fine microfilament, right? And as Boggy was saying, I don't think that there's no end to this. Everything's connected, and we do talk about string theory and superstring theory. I think what we're doing is, as we relax more and more and let go and live in the back room, because there's a Taoist technique that says listen behind. Right. So if you're too much in the front of your head, if you listen behind, it takes you back and centralizes you more. Right. And from that observational point, you can actually see what's emerging them from the soul, rather than the head putting any ideas into it, you see. So I think, just to say that, the more deeper we go, the more wider we go, the more we expand. Right, the more information comes in. And the big thing I keep getting all the time is, Joe, you need to act upon the information received. Right. So that I get that all the time. Is it's all very well talking about this and and saying all these big words, but unless you keep it simple and just act upon the information you're getting, you're just going to keep going round in the same old circle.
Indeed. Right. Okay. I'll try. Of course, there's quite a few comments here. Let's try to pick on some. So, Krista, the wonderful Krista Hickam, she said, "Sounds like fire breathing." I don't know which one that was, but one of us sounds like fire breathing. Rachel Sophia says, "Yes, Joe. I pick that up too. I often chant and beat my drum in that American native rhythm." She also says, "I love when the undertones come in. Some people think I started using the musical instrument." There was sometimes how it happens with me. I tried and done the old Tibetan folk singing, and that sometimes I do. Was it Safia? Safia, I've noticed that with her as well, that she, hers naturally does the throat singing. And again, it's the frequencies. It's the whole thing with the frequencies coming in.
Do you mean Sahara?
Sahara.
Sorry, yes, Sahara. Yes, yeah. What you said. Indeed. Ria said, what an intro. Jake said, love it. Jeanette Smith Wesolowski, I hope I haven't killed your name, said, it's all love. Wow. She also said as well. Rachel said, hi Denise, hi Paul, hi Doc. Cindy said hello as well. And Shanine, the wonderful Shanine's in the house. She said Boggy, and there's a picture of a ghost. Boggy the ghost. But how? Oh, yeah, that's my next life.
Do you say ghost or goat?
Ghost. I've been a goat. I've been a tree as well. But I normally say, well, that's one of my lines, isn't it? It's like, whether you're a man, a woman, a banana, or a goat.
Yeah.
It's yes. So, but no, ghost. It was definitely a ghost. Well, it looks like a ghost. But anyway, Ria says shared. Paula says hi, lovely soul friends. Molly Duran says hi, friends. Asha K, Ash is in the house. She says powerful. Rebecca says hello, everyone. Paula says wow, how amazing. Paula says I felt like a story was being told. Actually, yeah, I get that. Yeah, definitely get that. Shanine says it's mad stuff in it. Ria said, I'm getting 12 times 12 times 12. So when you were talking about your 12, resonance. Now I press some weird button, turn that off. Ria also says, I hear dolphins in one of your light languages, Boggy. Yeah, I think somebody said that before. Krista said, Dr. Joe's TV light language. Is that a new show, Doc? Apparently. Stephanie said, like everything else, I hide when I speak light language. Yeah, you gotta let. I think the whole point for I love us doing this, but I think it's everybody's got to do. Everybody can do it. Anybody can do qigong. Anybody can do yoga, stretch. Anybody can do meditating. Anybody can do light language. I think it's all part of what you need to do. Krista, as you said, I love my doodles. Thank you very much. Doodles. I used to know a dog called Doodles actually. Doodles are very much this whole. It is part of. It is light language. I think there's certain art that is light language. It is the energy coming through. Lynn says, Care Bear, share if you dare. Transcendent Love Soul Family from Krista. I'll do two more, otherwise we'll be here literally all night. Rita said, I missed the beginning, but goodness, this was amazing. Very much. Ria says, yeah, it feels like pulling fine filaments of silk. And there's still loads more, but we could be here all day saying them. So it's been amazing. Guys, do you want to anything before we wrap up? Because it's well, we've done a good hour. So is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Can I just say that Zahara was on the show last week, and we touched on moon energy last week as well. So Zahara and I are doing, it's full moon next Monday, and we're doing a supermoon activation. So either check my page or Zahara's page if you're interested in that. It feels really powerful already. And also just to say that I can really feel my body is, there's a different vibration in my body after what we've shared. I can really feel the pulsing. It's like everything's going like this, just that little bit more. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Doc?
I can feel a message coming through.
Yay.
Yep, from the heart. I can feel it. Asania ola nahode she. Mayato kosem ane she oknahasa etet. Ola ni edo sulimat ene apatashkat on helzim ohotane. Ayan toko pasenia ola nete patosha ane hoti. Lea mote kapasane heliot. I made the particos eniama. Leot ush ahania tu asam ok SLN ot achmehutse. Neatoku sa on yata sheshe on the papas endiga. Thank you. Thank you.
I think I'm going to do a light language garden next week. That's just dropped in. You've just inspired that. So if anyone is new to speaking light language and wants to come join me on Zoom, I don't know if it'll be for a particular purpose, but if it's not next week, it'll be the week after, and I'll do like a little event for it. So, it's a safe container that people can share their language and tones. So thanks for that beautiful message, Dr. Joe. That's probably what dropped in for me.
And I guys, if you're out there, obviously Care Bear share this show and all the other shows, but definitely I think you should next week go and come and join the Zoom, and just allow yourself. Funny enough, here on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness, this month is all about the sacred child, the inner child, and one of those things is like the true thing of the child is that play, is that ability just to be expressive, just allow yourself to express. And I think when a lot of people, we just had a meeting the conscious mindfulness meeting, and you were saying like a lot of people think when we talk about the inner child, you're talking about the wounded side. It's like, yeah, but there was a pre that, there's a before that, and that's what you want to get back to. You want to get back to that child, you acknowledge the other one and heal that one, but it's like the Tai Chi symbols, the yin and yang, you actually want that balancing and open up. So I think the thing with light language is very much about play. It's very much about allowing yourself to express, and as Boggy would say, not giving a flying fig about what other people think, and that's irrelevant. I think it's something I'm very good at, not giving a flying fig about other people to a degree. Though I actually do worry secretly, on certain things. My papa would always say, Paul, you worry about the wrong things. You don't worry about the things you should be worrying about. Says, yes, Dad. But you have to let go. You have to play, and you have to open up. So, guys, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much, Denise. This has been a great show. Guys out there, I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget, care, bear, share if you dare. So there. We have actually on Saturday, Krista Higginbotham, myself, and the wonderful Robin Clendon, we will actually be doing on the way conscious mindfulness. We've got this thing called the Conscious Questers, and this month's quest is to activate your sacred child, your inner child, and we're actually doing a show at the normal time of Krista's show. We're actually doing a conscious quester, easy for Boggy to say, a conscious quester Saturday show where we're going to have a few little childlike games. We're going to talk about our childhoods and the pluses and the minuses. We're going to have a couple of games to spark your inner child. So if you're interested in that, that will be in the UK, that will be at 5 o'clock UK time, which I think it's 12 o'clock Eastern, or I think if Krista's still on, she'll tell me off if I've got it wrong. I'm pretty sure it's about 12 o'clock Eastern, so that's 11 o'clock Pacific. But it'll be 5 o'clock UK time. So if you're about at that time, come and join that. Tomorrow, don't forget, here on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness, you have the wonderful Robin, the awesome, the amazing Robin McClendon doing conversations with Gaia, and then me and her will do the Mother, the Dragon, and the Woo Chi. I love that sound. And there are other shows in between, which I can't really remember because I would forget everything. So guys, you can look it up on our little I think it's Hove. I'm sure the picture is Hove, but there's a beautiful little picture, and each week it shows what we're doing here on the Way of Conscious Mindfulness. So I'd like to say thank you to the awesome, the amazing Doc. You have your own show, haven't you? Quick plug. What is your show?
Yeah, it's called the I Am Connection. But because I've got so much 3D academic work on at the moment, I'm not getting out as many shows as I wanted to. So it will take time to develop, but I'm happy just to plod along with that one, And I've got a few people coming on. I've got Amira Beth coming on next Tuesday from Hawaii, and a few other people in the pipeline. But I've got a whole list of people that I'm going to sort of invite and see if they want to come along. And it's the normal stuff. Turn up, put your bum on the seat, don't prepare anything, and just see what pops up next. That seems to be the way of it.
Well, at least that's my format anyway.
Yeah, and mine, mate, and mine.
Indeed. And Denise, thank you so much. And haven't you got a show as well? What's your show all about?
My show is called Love Speaks Love. So there is a Facebook page for that and a group. So it's similar kind of format, often including some kind of a process that people might take the viewers through as well. And it's about speaking from the heart. And thank you very much, Paul, Boggy.
Thank you. All right, guys, you're more than welcome. I love these. So so there. So and also, yeah, my show on Thursdays, apart from the way conscious mindfulness, on Thursdays is Tai Chi Chi Dao, which traditionally in China and Japan, you don't just learn Qigong or Tai Chi, you actually learn Reiki as well. They're intertwined together. One gives you the frequency, and the other one gives you the expansion of that frequency. Very posh. I sounded very posh just then. So the Tai Chi Chi Dao and the Way of the Dragon Dog Shaman. That is my show, and then straight after that, the private sessions of A Cup of Chi, which is where we do a weekly class of learning a different Qigong every single week. And that's only for $44 each month. And the whole point of that is this month we're aligning with the Way of Conscious Mindfulness and the Conscious Questers, and we are doing Qigongs that activate your sacred child or inner child. So that's it. That's us done. Let's find a quick outro. And guys, so it's goodbye from the wonderful Doc.
Bye everyone. Thank you. Thanks very much, Boggy.
You're welcome. It's goodbye from the awesome, the amazing, the wonderful Denise.
Bye.
Bye. And then it's goodbye from me. Hello, me. Right, bye for now. See you later, guys. Love, Chi, and Shen from the Way of Conscious Mindfulness Network. Bye for now.